With the world in the midst of a pandemic, masks have become a crucial weapon in the fight against the coronavirus. So most people don't give much thought into what kind of mask they're using. After all, masks are masks, and they're all the same, right? Well, wrong. There are three types of masks used by the general public. Cotton masks are cheap and reusable, but not as effective as blocking small virus particles. While mask efficacy or effectiveness depends on many factors such as threads and layers, the CDC says they're generally less effective than the counterparts of the N95 mask. So that brings us to a second type of mask, the N95 mask. The N95 masks are officially classified as a respirator that blocks out 95% of all particles. This means they're very effective, but the downsides are that they're not reusable and are generally more expensive. They're also in short supply due to needs in the front lines. So the current red ocean landscape for masks looks like this. As you can see, all three masks have their own high and low points. N95 masks are very effective, but they also have a high price tag, lack reusability, comfort, and availability, and have a medium value overall. Fabric masks are cheap, comfortable, and reusable, but they lack the same amount of effectiveness as N95 masks, but they still have a pretty high value. Surgical masks are the worst, either ineffective, lack reusability, but are comfortable, but they still have low value. So finally, a big problem that we need to solve is that masks can block respiratory particles, but it doesn't protect the wearer if they touch their mask and then they touch their face or mouth or nose. So that's why I invented Nanomask. It combines the advantage of cotton masks and N95 masks as they are reusable, inexpensive, and effective. It also self-cleans, taking away the risk of infection from touching the mask and the need to wash it. See, the problem with N95 masks is that machine washing them affects their filtration ability. By introducing self-cleaning and taking away that need to wash and dispose, the Nanomask can achieve high filtration. The mask is more expensive than most N95 masks, but that is offset because it can be reused as to one-time use N95 mask. How, you may ask? Well, the answer can be found right beneath the nose in sunscreen and toothpaste. They both contain titanium dioxide. In a nanoparticle form, titanium dioxide has an incredible property. If light hits titanium dioxide, it's essentially activated and is able to eliminate 99% of all pathogens. By infusing these nanoparticles into fabrics like these fabrics, we are able to create a self-cleaning mask. You can create these fabrics by first making nanoparticles with a process called soil gel synthesis. We can then mix those nanoparticles with a binding agent to fuse the nanoparticles with the polypropylene fiber in the mask. This process is relatively cheap once the process is actually set up. Well, so the Nanomask is a 3-layer mask with 2 layers of polypropylene fiber on the outer and middle layers and a synthetic polymer on the inside, ensuring comfort. You may be asking yourself, why hasn't this been done before? After all, self-cleaning fabrics and surfaces have been around for a while. Well, the answer to that question is that it has been done by a few companies. The problem is that they are much too expensive or ineffective, giving the customer very little value. For example, the Leaf Mask here has groundbreaking self-cleaning UV technology, but it costs $90 plus the price of filters. This makes it inaccessible for most people. On the other hand, the Air Mask is cheap, but it only self-cleans the filter, which doesn't allow protection against pathogens directly on the mask. So this is the market for Nanomasks. The current market is for people who spend lots of time in public places and require masks a lot. This first tier consists of people who spend a majority of their time at home but go out to public places sometimes. The second tier are people who are satisfied with the current mask and are skeptical of new mask technology. The third tier consists of very young people or children who never leave the house. So Nanomask seeks to revolutionize the market by eliminating the need to wash and dispose of used masks. We reduce the risk of infection from touching the mask. We raise effectiveness, convenience, and availability for consumers and create a new market in self-cleaning. This is our Blue Ocean Strategy Canvas, showing what we raise and what we reduce and what we create. So the future of Nanomasks. Many leading infectious disease experts, including Fauci, have stated that we can expect to get more and more frequent outbreaks and pandemics. The nanomask will not only be in more demand at those times, but it can also help reduce cases and death. The nanomask may be crucial if the disease has a very high fatality rate. For example, the COVID-19 virus has a relatively low death rate of only 2% or so. Now let's say a highly infectious mutant of the bird flu breaks out. The bird flu has a mortality rate of 60%. This means the odds of you surviving is slightly worse than flipping a coin. In this case, it's absolutely crucial that you don't take any risks and catch the disease. And then a Nanomask can drastically reduce infection rates by limiting the risk of infection from mass contact. In the future, I hope that Nanomask can help slow and stop outbreaks like the current one, and maybe even prevent them from happening at all. Thank you for listening to my pitch, and have a good day.